Ireland greats Bowe and Donncha O'Callaghan have raised serious concerns about the support structure around young fly half Sam Prendergast following Ireland's bruising 36-14 defeat to France in their 2026 Six Nations opener. Andy Farrell's men were comprehensively outplayed in Paris, falling 29-0 behind early in the second half before too late tries added a thin layer of respectability to the final scoreline. But the damage had long been done. For the second successive time against the reigning 2025 champions, Ireland were physically and tactically overwhelmed. While much of the pre-match debate centered on Farrell's decision to start the 22-year-old Prendergast at out half ahead of Jack Crowley, Bowe and O'Callaghan believe the issue runs deeper than simply selecting the wrong number 10. Instead, they have questioned whether Ireland's experienced midfield, particularly Garry Ringrose and Stuart McCloskey, are doing enough to guide a young playmaker still learning the demands of Test rugby, that a selection gamble under scrutiny in the build-up to the clash at the Stade of France. Ireland's fly-half selection was one of the dominant talking points. Both Prendergast and Crowley have been given opportunities during the Autumn Nations series, each starting twice. Prendergast had featured in the series-ending loss to South Africa in Dublin, while Crowley wore the 10 jersey for the narrow defeat to New Zealand in Chicago. With the squad spending a preparation week in Portugal before the Six Nations opener, Farrell ultimately placed his faith in Prendergast as Ireland's first-choice out-half. The decision did not pay immediate dividends. Prendergast showed flashes of promise, but was defensively targeted and struggled to impose himself on the game. France's aggressive line speed and relentless breakdown work suffocated Ireland's attack, leaving the young fly half with limited time and space to orchestrate. Yet Bowe and O'Callaghan were reluctant to pin the defeat solely on Prendergast. Phase attack and decline speaking on the offload, the podcast co-hosted by the two former British and Irish Lions, O'Callaghan identified Ireland's faltering phase attack as the most urgent concern. One of the biggest areas for me that has gone, and it's of urgent importance to us, is our phase attack, O'Callaghan explained. Ireland had previously prided themselves on their ability to construct long, patient sequences of possession, often building through 20 or even 30 phases to stretch defenses and create openings. That trademark cohesion was glaringly absent in Paris. Our ability before to go to 34 phases. Now we go to one side of the pitch, and on the return, we get wiped out in midfield, he continued. Players bouncing up off the ground to get it organized. It's so slow. O'Callaghan suggested that Ireland's attacking rhythm, once their defining strength, has eroded over the past 3 matches, referencing defeats to New Zealand, South Africa, and now France. We used to chat about 10s running the week and then getting barked at to get into position so that you were useful in attack, he said. That was one of our greatest things. Our multi-phase game was incredible. I'll be honest with you, I don't see it, and I haven't seen it for the last 3 games. Leadership vacuum in midfield. Bowe acknowledged that a young fly half under pressure may struggle to assert authority, especially at this level. You've got an out half who is under pressure who you'd expect to be doing the barking, Bowe said. Sam Prendergast has been given that armband to lead that team. I thought he mixed some really good with some disappointing. He added that while Prendergast did not play poorly enough to warrant immediate dropping, the lingering question marks around his game inevitably limit how forcefully he can direct those around him. That is where Bowe and O'Callaghan believe Ireland's senior backs should be stepping in. Drawing on his own experiences, O'Callaghan referenced playing alongside Ronan O'Gara, Brian O'Driscoll, and Gordon Darcy, players renowned for their communication and on-field direction. I remember listening to Rog and playing with Drico and Darce. It was an armchair ride just because they were so vocal, O'Callaghan said. Even good and early, they would be telling you, space left cornered. He argued that such constant communication eased the burden on the fly half, allowing them to focus on execution rather than orchestration. With a young 10 like Sam Prendergast, do we need to have our outside backs being way more vocal and spotting things for him? He asked. Keeping him to kind of nearly a discipline of this is what we're doing this play. Bowe echoed those sentiments, singling out Ringrose and McCloskey. I know Stu McCloskey is a very quiet player, and so is Garry Ringrose, he said. Garry, phenomenal defender, brilliant on the blitz defense, but really Is he getting involved enough in attack? Is he offering it as a second ball player? Is he being the eyes and the communicator out wide as well? For Bowe, these are legitimate questions rather than outright criticisms. But they highlight a potential leadership gap in Ireland's backline. Defensive solidity versus attacking influence. Ringrose's defensive qualities are widely acknowledged. His speed off the line and reading of opposition shapes make him a key component of Ireland's blitz defense. However, Bowe's comments suggest that defensive excellence alone is not enough when a young fly half requires guidance. A T31. Ringrose is one of the more experienced backs in the squad. McCloskey, at 33, brings physicality and presence. The expectation, according to O'Callaghan and Bowe, is that such players should act as on-field lieutenants, easing the cognitive load on Prendergast. The theory is simple. If the fly half is still developing his authority at test level, the midfield must amplify his voice to Farrell's dilemma. The defeat leaves Andy Farrell facing mounting pressure. 3 high-profile losses in succession, New Zealand, South Africa, and France, have punctured the aura built during Ireland's 2023 and 2024 Six Nations triumphs. Andy Farrell has got a problem on his hands now, Bowe admitted. At 29-0, it was not looking good. While late tries narrowed the margin, they could not disguise the gulf in intensity and cohesion. Looking ahead, England away looms large, followed by home fixtures against Scotland, Wales, and Italy. On paper, Ireland remained capable of winning the majority of those matches. But O'Callaghan warned against complacency. "There's certainly blood in the water," he said. "Everyone is coming for us." He even suggested that Italy, Ireland's next opponents in Dublin, could pose a genuine threat if standards do not improve. "If we perform like we are performing, Italy is going to be a big game. We have to stop the rot." Kicking game and back three struggles beyond the midfield dynamic. Both pundits expressed concern over Ireland's kicking and transition play. O'Callaghan admitted confusion over Ireland's aerial struggles, given the traditional strength of Irish players under the high ball. "I'm curious about that," he said. "How are we so poor at that when it's a skill Irish players are good at?" Bowe elaborated, pointing to issues in transition. "With the way the kicking game is going, it's all about transition play," he explained. Ireland's transition play was all over the shop. He criticized the lack of structure and pace when turnover opportunities arose. "There was no attack, no structure, no idea," Bowe said. Ireland were missing the out-and-out pace to really light it up whenever there is a turnover. In contrast, he praised France's ability to thrive in broken play. France, on the other hand, its breaking ball, quick recycle, shift the ball out, and of course you've got these rocket men out wide who can cause so much damage. Comfortable in chaos. Bowe referenced former Ireland coach Stuart Lancaster's mantra about being comfortable in chaos, the ability to maintain composure and clarity when structure breaks down. That quality, he suggested, is currently lacking. It's a big one for Andy Farrell. How to cause other teams trouble when it comes to that bit of open play. Chaos. What next for Prendergast? Despite the scrutiny, neither Bowe nor O'Callaghan advocated dropping Prendergast immediately. "He has to back him," Bowe said of Farrell. "I don't think he played badly enough that he was to be dropped." Continuity may be crucial for a young playmaker's development. Yet support systems must evolve around him. If Ringrose and McCloskey, or whoever occupies the midfield, can assume greater communicative responsibility, Prendergast may find the platform he needs to flourish. For Bowe and O'Callaghan, the solution is not radical overhaul, but sharper clarity. Faster ruck speed, more vocal leadership, improved aerial work, and renewed confidence in transition. Now, the challenge is different but equally pressing: to rediscover their attacking identity while nurturing